Hello everyone, welcome back to Formula One. It is the Grand Prix Barcelona Catalunya, a venue we know well and a new title for the race after the Spanish Grand Prix moved to Madrid. That's one of our new venues this year. But round 7 continues at Barcelona and familiar territory for teams and drivers. Glorious day to put Formula One cars out on the circuit in the company of Sam Collins. But first of all, delighted to welcome to the commentary box, Chris McCarthy. Chris, you have commentated on so many of the names that we're about to see in the first part of practice. We thought it was a brilliant opportunity to welcome you to the broadcast once again. How are you, sir?
Thank you very much. Great to be here. As you mentioned, this a circuit great to go racing on, but also one that a lot of the drivers have a very long history with.
We're finding drivers having to take evasive action around home favourite Carlos Sainz at the
It's
moment.
not switching on.
We're looking. Try again, please.
Yeah, not switching on.
There's Kimi Antonelli, 19 years of age, and the leader of the Formula One World Championship now by 66 points. Turn 14 with Frederik Vesti, a runner-up in the Formula 2 Championship a couple of years ago. Oh, just a couple of things to change for Frederik Vesti, for him to be the winner that year, but that is true of so many titles, and that is true of so many championships. But he is really, really used consistently for his technical feedback, which the team rates so highly. And the advantage of these sessions is that they can have some real-world calibration to add to all of the simulator time that Frederik Vesti puts in for the team that at the moment leading both championships as they try to claim both crowns back. And it has been a while. Go back to 2020 for the last time they won a driver's title, and 2021 for the last time Mercedes won the Constructors' Championship. Vesti is used to these sessions, so we have a bit of a contrast today, don't we, Chris? In the Colton Herta is getting behind the wheel for the first time on an FP1, same applies to Leo Fornaroli, but some others have been in this role and know how to deliver the program for the team.
Absolutely that. It's a bit of a reward, isn't it, for the drivers, for all the work that they put in across the race weekends, in terms of doing the simulator work in between free practice sessions, and then being in their supportive roles. And this a great opportunity to be rewarded for that and go out and show what they can do in a free practice session. And without these drivers, the teams wouldn't get all the data they have across a weekend, because sometimes we'll see these drivers back at the factory doing simulator work. Luke Browning, an example of that, as he's still getting ready to go out for Williams, and we've seen him do free practice before. But as you mentioned, Leo Fornaroli going out there for the first time, someone who caught the eye of McLaren during the F2 season and then signed for them after he became champion.
Catch it, Colton Herta, and he does so.
I went over the curve and tried 8 on the left-hand side, bottom, so just check board. Copy that.
Lisa, who's the first car?
Hello, I'm Gabriel, not Lisa.
Oh, sorry, Gabi.
Liam Lawson coming off the back of a wonderful result in the last Grand Prix, and he finds himself with a car in the way and a bit of drifting as a result.
Wait, what are these guys? Just middle of the track.
Classic.
Again we go to the corners that have been causing trouble so far today. 7, that's fine. These cars, this year's regulation set, they've got so much torque.
I had a lot more power out of T7 than I expected that lap.
So we've got a yellow flag, and we've got Gabriel Bortoletto, who has gone on at turn 8. That is the troublesome corner of this session. And the former F2 champion, driver in his 2nd year of the sport, racing for Audi, has had a trip through the gravel. And that has always been gravel.
Mate, I'm losing the rear so much. Like, the car is very unstable.
I'm delighted to welcome the World Championship leader to our broadcast, Kimi Antonelli. It's great to have you with us. First of all, bit of a mic check. Can you hear us loud and clear?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us. Kimi, in your wildest dreams, did you think you'd have 5 wins and a 66-point lead by the time that you got to round 7?
Absolutely not. I mean, I would have put the signature if you would have told me at the start of the year, but I knew the potential was there. Just the question was whether we could be on top of the game straight away, and so far it's going well, but of course it's still a long way, still big mountain to climb, but we're doing well so far.
This is Colton Herta. Remember how much power they have in this iteration of Formula One regulations. You can hear the rear trying to escape as he applies the throttle there. He's had a minor moment brushing the grass on the exit of turn 8. We have 9 minutes to go in this first hour of the weekend. Poor old Luke Browning. Not only was he sentenced to driving me around Monaco and appearing on the cool-down room with Sam Collins, he now finds himself with no time on the board at all. And disappointment for the man who's not even done an installation lap on one of the sessions.
Leo Fornaroli has done a great time, hasn't he? Good to see him up there in the top 5. I think McLaren will be very pleased with what they're seeing from him so far. Has won back-to-back titles in F3 and F2, and his reward for that is now being part of that McLaren team. And I think this has been a really good session for him so far.
A little bit of news from race control, nothing significant, but Max Verstappen and both Audis have taken new combustion engines at this point of the race weekend. I suspect that Red Bull will probably put one of their new Ford engines in the back of this car driven by Iwasa for free practice too, but they're letting him run on with the used up engine already because it's a young driver session. You don't want to use that little extra bit of performance boost in this session if you can avoid it. But there are some power unit issues for some of the teams at the moment. McLaren and most of the Mercedes runners actually are getting a little bit close.
Something is broken, guys. I think I need to box. I can't turn forward. Yeah, I think it's something with suspension. Wait, what's going on? I'm sideways everywhere. I have zero grip.
We'll review for FP2.
The checkered flag is out. George Russell is the fastest driver. He's ahead of Oscar Piastri by 0.2 of a second. Then it's Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. Verstappen talking of inconsistent balance earlier in the session. Leonardo Fornaroli will be delighted with P5, and he should be. Paul Aaron in the Audi P6, and Lawson Beganovic, Lindblad, Colapinto, Behrman, and then Bortoletto, who's been struggling for just course setup. There's something awry with that Audi. Okay, let's go on board with the McLaren. Herta and Fornaroli lock up for Colton Herta, and wide moment for the Cadillac, and then that is the correct thing to do for the Italian driver when you're giving the car back to none other than the world champion, Lando Norris, later on. George Russell, top of the pile. Oscar Piastri in second place. Charles Leclerc, new brakes on the car, third place in the classification. Charles Leclerc half a second off. Max Verstappen ahead of Leo Fornaroli, who was the substitute for this session. So was Paul Aaron, a very strong fifth for Fornaroli, a very strong sixth for Aaron. Then it's Lawson, another substitute was Dino Beganovic. Arvid Lindblad was ninth, Franco Colapinto 10th for Alpine. Alpine deciding not to run a reserve today. Got to do it per team 4 times a season. Oliver Behrman in 11th ahead of Gabriel Bortoletto, and it's Sainz ahead of another sub in Iwasa. Vesti is another sub, this time for Mercedes. He was in 15th, and it was Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Alonso and Stroll. Poor old Luke Browning did not get out due to an electrical issue. That left him with no time on the board. It means in 21st place. Colton Herta completes the field.